Another boring greeting, right? Washing away the idols, giving people a new heart. Sounds like more of the same that you hear every week. Well, I have a pretty cool story I want to share with all of you that's going to try to connect to this reading. This past 4th of July, I went to a party put on a guy who was on the Time 100 Most Influential People of the Year list. You know, they come out that every year. It was right outside of New York City. I was totally bummed out by this. I don't know about you, but there's nothing I loathe more than going to parties or events where I don't know anyone, except my family, but they don't really count. But I'd rather just be home, like doing the usual thing that you do on 4th of July. So I went, and it wasn't actually too bad at first. The house the party was at was unbelievably huge. They served lobster and steak for dinner. A violin trio played. They had an enormous pool, the whole 9 yards. I still felt really out of place though, but it was cool to be there. We sat down for our steak and lobster dinner, and the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my entire life comes and sits right down next to me. My first reaction was, alright, this isn't so bad. Maybe this is better than just staying at home. This woman was in her mid-20s, tall, long brown hair. But it's hard to do justice for me to do justice to her. So you can just imagine the most beautiful woman in the world sitting right next to you. And girls, you can pretend it's a guy. I haven't even got to the best part yet. Naturally, when this woman sits down, I just look at her and she looks at me, and there's this instant connection. But no, she doesn't. I was really just nervous, and I was like disinterested in anything else, but like, what am I going to say to her? But she actually started talking to me, and I'm like, all right, this could be easier than I thought it would be. But to make a long story short, this woman, as if she couldn't be any more out of my league, speaks 6 languages fluently, spent a year studying at a culinary school in San Francisco after she got her master's degree, and is currently in the upper level of the counterterrorism unit of the New York City Police Department. I literally had this look on my face the whole time. Like, what am I doing? But that's all that happens, really. I leave the party, I don't even know her last name, and will probably never see her again. If I do, I hope she doesn't hear about this reflection. I'm pretty embarrassed. I know you're all like, you're saying to yourselves, what does this have to do with anything? Why am I here? But this is a classic case of an idol in my life. She was someone I regarded with blind admiration, which is how the dictionary defines idol. I think we can all agree that anything you regard with blind or thoughtless admiration is an idol in your life. That's my opinion anyway. I put her high up on this pedestal and said, if I could only be at this level. But in reality, the pedestal doesn't even exist. We just imagine it does. Sure, some people may be more fortunate than us in some ways, but that doesn't make them more happy or complete people. It's more than talent or money, looks, grades, or anything. All those material things in our life can be idols, just as Liza was talking about in her speech downstairs. I don't know about you, but it gets me down when I think that I probably will never be at the level of the girl I was talking to that day. But when we realize that idols are not a good influence in our lives, whatever your idol may be, that's when we can stand at the same level as anyone else. Well, this past weekend I had an epiphany-like experience. I met another woman, just like the one I just described to you. You probably think this happens to me all the time, but it really doesn't. I mean, this is just 2 times in the past year. I had this great conversation with her too, even better than the last one. And we were just talking about life, and afterwards she gave me this big hug, and she was like, Nick, thrive in being yourself. And at that point I was like, I probably just fainted inside my head. I didn't know what to say. And that's really what it's all about. Thrive in being yourself. And I couldn't summarize it any more than that. And in order to do that, we must let go of those idols in our lives. The need to be popular, the need to be first, the need to have control of everything. Today we get a new heart, and we walk away better than we have been for a while. Today is our chance to be who we are, and to know that that's okay. Thrive in being yourself.